The Portland Trail Blazers are fresh off of giving the Oklahoma City Thunder their first loss this season. But there is one very important thing for the Blazers to figure out moving forward to become a more consistent team. The last two games for the Portland Trail Blazers have been two different stories with one similarity. After the Blazers were 9.5-point favorites against a shorthanded Los Angeles Lakers team and managed to lose by 14 points at home, they bounced back and beat the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the Thunder were without Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, and Alex Caruso. And had any one of those guys played, this might have been a different story. But with the Blazers' goals of playing some postseason basketball, it's more so about finding wins, especially where you least expect it. And the Blazers have had the hardest schedule over the first 8 games in the entire league, at least when you look at the caliber of their opponent. The Blazers have played Minnesota, Golden State, the LA Clippers, the LA Lakers twice, Denver, and now OKC. And the fact that they have 5 wins at this point of the season is a huge positive no matter who has been suiting up for opponent teams. And you could look at it like they should be 6-2. They should have taken care of business against the Lakers. But also there's been plenty of competitive games that could have swung either way. The last 2 wins by the Blazers against Denver and OKC were really impressive games where the Blazers actually performed in the clutch. That's been a problem for this Blazer team for a while, and it showed up on opening night in Chauncey Billups' final game as head coach. But since Tiago Splitter has taken over, he's 5-2, and it's been a very impressive job done by him. And what I think was most impressive about this game is the Portland Trail Blazers shot less field goal attempts than the Oklahoma City Thunder. On a recent broadcast, there was a stat that said that the Blazers were the league leader in terms of field goal attempt differential, meaning that they had taken more field goal attempts than their opponent, more so than any other team in the league. And that's due to the amount of turnovers the Blazers force, as well as them being a very good offensive rebounding team. And going into this OKC game, even with them being shorthanded, they're a well-coached team, and it was always going to be much tougher to force them into a bunch of turnovers. So the fact that the Blazers still won this game despite losing less shots is a little bit of a different recipe than they've had in previous wins, and that's why I do think this win is impressive. Now, it helps when you go 19 for 43 from 3, 44%. The Blazers are not going to shoot that well on most nights, but it's not like the Thunder shot much worse. Blazers shot 30 for 32 from the free throw line, which was awesome as every one of those points were needed in this game. But you look at the Blazers losing the turnover battle, losing the offensive rebounding battle, losing the fast break battle, and they still won. Deni Avdija started 0 for 11 from the field, but still managed to finish with 26 points. He made 5 of his final 6 shots and also shot 16 free throw attempts, which was a career high. Jrue Holiday, after struggling the previous game against the Lakers and struggling in the first quarter of this game, the first quarter is a theme we're going to have to talk about, he got hot in the second quarter. He finished with 6 3-point makes. Duop Reath came in the second quarter and really sparked this team, going 3 for 3 from 3 in the first half, including a very tough shot clock buzzer beater. In the Blazers, in the first quarter especially, where they got off to a 20-point deficit, they trailed by as many as 22 points in this game. Early on in this game, the Blazers, I thought, were being over-aggressive defensively, gambling too much for steals. OKC was doing a good job of beating their press and getting good shots because of it, and the energy was very, very low. I thought the Blazers did a better job as this game went on by being more sound defensively, not gambling as much, not getting as caught out of position, despite still giving up some wide open threes to Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. And then they started making threes, and that's what got them back in this game. In the final minutes, there was 2 great cuts by Shaedon Sharpe and Toumani Camara for buckets, which is some late game offensive execution that I've been waiting to see from this team. Which was some late game execution that was awesome to see out of this team. But there's been a major theme from basically every game this season for the Blazers, and that is they start very slow. Their net rating in the first quarter ranks 27th out of 30 teams. Their net rating in the second quarter this season ranks first. And I think this is due to a combination of things. I think the Blazers come out a little flat with their energy. I think they come out stagnant offensively. The Blazers also sub pretty quick, so it's tough for players to get a rhythm at the start of games. And when you look at some of the names coming off the Blazers bench, they're not world beaters. Duop Reith was seen as the 4th string center coming into this season, but he comes in the game and immediately sparks this team. In only 20 minutes, he was a plus 21 in this game. And it's not even like it's all the bench playing well. The bench subs in the first quarter. The Blazers still suck. For whatever reason, after the completion of the first quarter, the Blazers become a much, much better team. I think it's very important for the Blazers to figure out what's going wrong at the start of games, and I don't think it's a personnel issue that changing the starting lineup will fix. For some reason, their struggles in the first quarter seem to permeate throughout the entire roster, and this game against OKC was the perfect example. The Blazers were down 41-21 after the first quarter, and then outscored OKC 36-24 in the second. I'm really at a loss for words for why this discrepancy exists. If you have ideas as to why, you can let me know down in the comment section below, but the Blazers just don't play well in any aspect at the start of games. I feel like against OKC it was because they were too aggressive defensively and OKC was prepared for that. You could make the case that the Blazers' pressure starts to wear on teams in the second quarter, but I feel like these struggles go deeper than that. That first quarter against the Thunder was some of the ugliest basketball I've seen from the Blazers. You had Robert Williams shooting a 3 off the top corner of the backboard. You had Sidy Cissoko missing a wide open 3. You had bad turnovers. You had bad defense, bad energy. Everything was awful. And then they flipped a switch. And they've done that multiple times this season. As a fan, it goes from, what the hell am I watching, to, wow, this team looks really good. And if the Blazers could just figure out how to cure their first quarter struggles, then probably would be a really, really good team. They're already 5-3 despite these struggles against what has not been an easy schedule. So it's really important that the Blazers start to figure this out. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the video. Here is my parlay I've been close to hitting this year. You can let me know your thoughts on these picks down in the comment section below. And if you use code Uprise, you can get in on the action with me, and you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 and a free $20 entry. They're still giving you that free entry, so if you've been putting off taking advantage of what is an awesome deal from Sleeper, make sure you go out and do so. It also supports the channel, so I appreciate that. Here's the next 3 games for the Blazers. The game against the Miami Heat, I think, is going to be very, very interesting, as the Heat and the Blazers both have a similar style of half-court offense. Both brought over assistants from Memphis this past offseason, and Memphis last year ran this style of offense. And the Heat and the Blazers play at the 2 fastest paces in the entire NBA. The Heat are the only team that are currently playing at a faster pace. Then the Blazers have the Magic on Monday. The Magic have been struggling this season. We'll see if the Blazers can pick up a big win in Orlando. And then they play the Pelicans on Wednesday, November 12th. It's iffy as to whether or not Zion Williamson will be healthy for that game. Likely that he does miss it. And that's a great opportunity for a road win for the Blazers. The Pelicans have been awful this year, even when Zion plays. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Leave a like, subscribe. It was fun to watch the Blazers shock OKC and give them their first loss of the season. And hopefully they can keep this momentum up as they have 8 of their next 10 games on the road. We'll have post-game shows for all of them, and we'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers!